Good morning, it's Wednesday, which means it's time for another First Look. And today, we are taking a look at Minter's Vault. But first, a quick message from our sponsor. We all know the feeling of paying high fees and waiting for transactions to confirm when interacting with DeFi. I suffer from that every time I do a tutorial or a First Look. Well, no more. Solana has built a fast, censorship-resistant blockchain where you can build and use crypto apps that scale today. The network supports thousands of transactions per second with fees less than a cent and over 500 validators. To learn more, head over to solana.com/Defiant to get started building and join its rapidly expanding community. So to start this story, we need to take a look at Monsieur Person. Now, if you were following NF theft, which appeared around the beginning of April, you will have seen basically what Monsieur Person, the so-called Banksy of NFTs, did was he took the Beeple first 5,000 days NFT and did something which he called sleep minting, which he basically stole the artwork that was inside it and then just minted another NFT off the back of it. And it did bring into focus this idea that the artwork contained within an NFT isn't necessarily as secure and as tamper-proof as we thought it might be. And that was kind of one of the big sells of NFTs, is that the artwork belongs to you. It is verifiably yours. And the point of this stunt was to prove exactly that. And in his post, he says, using this example of the most expensive NFT, I will crush the misleading concept of its uniqueness and security. Everyone, welcome aboard reality. Now, this got a bit of publicity, and people kind of went, whoa, maybe NFTs aren't as secure as we think we are. Well, maybe they're not. But what if there was something you could do to make them more secure? So that's where we come to Minter's Vault. And Minter's Vault allows you to keep your NFTs safe by backing them up. So you create a copy of your NFTs, store the original in a vault, and then the new version, the copy, is what is out there and on display. Think of it a bit like the Mona Lisa. Now, do we really believe that the real Mona Lisa is in the Louvre on display in front of the general public, where anyone with a bottle of acid, for instance, could just throw it on there? Nah, it's too valuable. There's too much at stake. It's almost certainly a copy. And the original is stored somewhere safe, out of the light, and well, that's just the price of priceless art. So this is the same concept, essentially. And the way it works is they make a copy of your NFT, which they call a replicant. And then they store the files and the hash, the metadata that connects to the original NFT on IPFS. And the NFT is basically stored in a smart contract. And because it's in a smart contract, if you know how to use Solidity or you interact directly with smart contracts, you can just go and get it back. As long as you have, excuse me, as long as you have the hash that connects to it. What they also allow you to do is download the original files that are stored within the NFT, which if your data becomes unpinned from IPFS for whatever reason, then you can reconnect your original data and your original files to it. Now, understanding all this means understanding a little bit about IPFS and how it works. But IPFS is basically a peer-to-peer data storage network that decentralizes and distributes information all over the world, so that ideally you're creating a censorship-resistant file database. The problem with it is that when a piece of data is accessed by a node on the IPFS network, a copy of that information is then stored on the local node. And if you're accessing a lot of data, that can mean that the node itself gets clogged up with data, which means at some point, the owner of the node, the runner of the node, wants to delete that data, clean it out, and allow it to continue functioning. And that's something of a problem for you and your data, because it means that it's quite possible for all your data to be deleted from IPFS completely. Now, you'd hope that the data is spread around all over the world, but if we're talking about a very rarely accessed piece of data, then yeah, it could quite easily happen. So the way to get around that is you can pay for a process called pinning. Now, you can run your own IPFS node and pin your data to that node, and you assume the cost of pinning data, but you can also pin it to someone else's node using a pinning service. And I looked at one here called Pinata, But basically, putting data on an IPFS node is just telling the node that that data is important and it should be preserved and not deleted. And you pay a fee for doing so. I think it's basically kind of like cloud services, essentially, but it's decentralized. So IPFS isn't just, dump your files on a network and they're safe forever. That's because they're not. And I didn't realize that, but now I do. So this is the process of how Minter's Vault works. The system is designed to automatically back up your NFT's media files and metadata whilst pinning to IPFS, and then we allow you to download those files for safekeeping too, and once downloaded, you then create a replicant NFT. This contains the IPFS hash directly on chain, which represents your original NFT, and there you go. So let's look at the vault and how we do this. So you connect your wallet, then you need to approve the vault contract to transfer the original. Okay, so far so good, and then you swap. And then effectively, you should have an exact copy of your NFT. There's someone at the door. You should have an exact copy of your NFT. Let's do it. Let's back up an NFT. I'm not going to do it with anything that I value at the moment, but we'll do it. So I need to connect my wallet, as per the usual way, MetaMask. And now we are in. So it tells me I don't own any replicants. I've got some NFTs here. What I do like about this is the way it reads NFTs, because it's very fast. And sometimes you go on sites and it takes them a little bit of time to load in your NFTs, but here it's pretty fast. So what I'm going to do is take one of the NFTs from the rug pull experiment, this one here, the rug apple, and we're going to create a replicant. So I click on create replicant, and we are waiting. I'm not sure what we're waiting for here. It doesn't say. Now, why would you use this? Well, all sorts of reasons really, but it's primarily to preserve the sanctity of the artwork contained within your NFT. But also you might just be worried about someone hacking your wallet, or the sanctity of that wallet. Or you might want to loan out your artwork to somebody else, and if you have the replicant, then you can do it without worrying too much. Maybe. I'm not sure how the permissions work on that, but that could be a way to do it. We're still waiting. And now it's uploading to IPFS. Exciting. So we just have to wait here while it does that. I have to say the UX here is pretty nice. Okay, done. So the files are uploaded to IPFS, and the metadata is stored. So I have a hash here. Okay. So I can open that and take a look. Wow. Okay. Huh. Very basic metadata. Okay, fine. And below are the files associated with your NFT. Download them and keep them safe so you can upload them to IPFS in the future if you need to. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just make a quick folder. And these are coming down as JSON files, and there's an MP4 file. So that's presumably the animation that I did. Yeah, and then the final one is the GIF. So the media files that I originally created are what are coming down. So the files are uploaded to IPFS, and I've already downloaded these files for safekeeping. If I look in the folder, we have a GIF. If I click on that, it gives me the GIF, very nice. There's also an MP4 file, which should be the same. Oh yeah, there we go. This is Simon 1 drawing a pineapple. And that was the unlockable content, I think, that was inside there. And then the next thing is a JSON file, which is the same as this IPFS metadata file system here. I actually didn't say what the IPFS was. It's the Interplanetary File Service. That's what they call it. The idea being that they want to create a distributed file storage network that can transcend our planetary borders. And that's exciting, isn't it? Exciting interplanetary space stuff. So, if everything looks good below, click Mint to create your replicant. Mint, 0.1 ETH plus gas. Doesn't that sound expensive? I made a rule on these that I was not going to overspend on tutorials I'm not even sure I have 0.1 ETH plus gas in my wallet. I don't. Bought too many me bits. So I'm actually, well, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Oh, I can't, I have insufficient funds. Well, there you go. Stymied. Sorry guys, I have to get some ETH. Oh my God, Ethereum is so slow. Okay, we're back in business. So now we can go ahead and actually mint this replicant NFT. And as you would expect on Ethereum, it's gonna cost us some money. Excuse me, it's gonna cost, 0.1 ETH plus gas. And if you've seen the cost of ETH going up and up and up recently, this is gonna sting a little bit. Let's just see, where is ETH at the moment? 3,352. So it's gonna cost us 335 bucks to make this replicant. You know what? For the sake of this, let's just go ahead and do it. So we're gonna mint that, and then we wait for Ether to do its thing. Hello, Daniel. What are you doing? We are creating a replicant. Let's go and have a look at the transaction on Etherscan, see what's actually happening here. Nothing very interesting. And now we wait. I suspect because the Ethereum network is very busy right now because people are trading hard, that this is going to be a little bit slow. So let's just see what happens. I don't know if we can speed it up. Okay. And now we approve. That's the next step. That didn't take too long. That is another transaction. So it looks like there's 3 separate transactions. There's a mint, an approve, and a swap transaction. We'll just fast forward this bit. And that is approved, and now we do the final transaction, which is a swap. And we have to pay more gas, 29 bucks this time. And it's another transaction. After spending time on Polygon, I do find this very slow. Very, very slow and expensive. Yo. Okay, we're back. Now we had a dropped and replaced transaction which messed things up a little bit, but I believe what actually happened was it did go through. So now if we go back to the backup, back to the vault on Minter's Vault, if I connect my wallet, I should now see, there it is, your replicants, and there is the Rug Apple replicant. And I also have an option to swap it for the original. I'm not actually going to do that, but that means I can then swap out my replicant for the original one. Wow. So it's done. It's actually done. Now, I'm just really curious how this particular NFT will show up in OpenSea. What's quite fun here is the token ID is 2, which means I must be the second person to have done this. That's kind of fun. Okay, let's go and have a look on OpenSea and see what this looks like. See if it actually recognizes it and shows up. Oh yeah, there it is. So it has the Minter's Vault ID. And there it was just created. That is so weird. I wonder how the value of a replicant would compare to the original, because it's essentially the same thing, but it's not. It has different provenance. Yeah, some interesting things to think about here. But OpenSea definitely recognizes it, so the whole process worked. It was kind of expensive, but this is why I didn't do it with anything particularly valuable, because still a little bit sketched out about what's actually happened here. But presumably, if I were to go and swap back for the original, then it would just burn this replicant and I get my original back. But yeah, what a weird thing, because in essence it's the same thing, but it's not the same thing. it's a replicant. Interesting. Well, there you go. That was Minter's Vault. The first look. It wasn't quite what I was expecting, but it's still a cool idea, and hopefully we'll see more of these in the future. Definitely ways to preserve the sanctity of your artwork and what the media files that are contained within it. Still some work to be done though, I feel. Cool. I will see you on the next one. See ya!